What's up everyone, Inder here, and we have an exciting update from the Pokemon Unite team, a new letter from the producer. It's been a while since we've got one of these. I figured it'd be a good idea for me to read this out to you guys. If you haven't seen it, provide some of my thoughts, and also I want to know what you guys think as well, so let me know in the comments below. Hello everyone. 2022 proved to be an incredible, fast-paced, exciting first year of Pokemon Unite. These past few months, we've celebrated our first anniversary, turned Pokemon into snowmen, and welcomed our first legendary Pokemon, Urshifu, to Eos Island. Although the celebrations are over, there's plenty more to be excited about coming soon to Pokemon Unite. Cool. I love to hear more new things happening. Zoroark release retrospective. Okay. So, for those of you guys that don't remember, they bundled Zoroark behind gems for the first week, so gems only, but they bundled it with a skin that you had to purchase, which made it so that if you wanted to play Zoroark for the first week, you had to spend, triple the amount of gems to acquire it because it's locked behind that skin. I'm happy to see that they're addressing it. In October, we released the Melee Speedster Zoroark and made it obtainable only with Eos gems as a part of a bundle with its costume party holoware during its first week of release. We heard the community's feedback, which informed us that these restrictions were not a good experience. We appreciate that feedback, and after consideration, we will not be following this release practice in the future. That's awesome. That's the reason why we provide feedback. It's good to know that of the many things we provide feedback for, there are certain things that they go back and they listen to. I'm really, really happy to see that. We intend to create a better paid experience for Pokemon Unite players in the coming months, and we welcome your feedback across our social channels. We look forward to collaborating with the community in the future, so please continue sharing your valuable feedback with us and one another. I wish I could have an even more direct form of communication. If not me, another member of the community. I'd love to sit down and have an interview with, someone from the team, whether it's the producer. There's so many questions I know the community has, and we would love to be able to have the chance to have that kind of direct communication, but this is a good start. Cool. Matchmaking explained. All right. Matchmaking is a pretty touchy subject for a lot of players, and I definitely agree that there's some work that needs to be done to bring it to a more enjoyable experience. All right, let's see. Matchmaking is a much discussed subject in the community. For players who are unfamiliar, we'll explain how it works. Matching is based on matchmaking rating, MMR, which is a hidden number decided by factors like win percentage, consecutive wins, and current rank. I always figured that there was hidden MMR done for matchmaking, which is very typical for games like this. During matchmaking, players are put into a queue that searches for players who have similar MMR, and then positions are filled for both teams. After a period of time, if no players of a similar skill are available, the matching parameters broaden to look at a wider pool of potential teammates and opponents. By doing so, the game attempts to optimize the balance both within and between the teams in terms of player skill level, as well as create a fairly matched environment for all players. Before we get down to the breakdown of the team's composition and MMR, which they have below, one thing to note here that they go over very quickly, after a period of time, if no players of similar skill are available, the matching parameters broaden to look at a wider pool. And I think this broadening part is where a lot of the issues lie for people that are playing this game regularly, looking to improve, trying their absolute hardest. I think either the period of time is too short or the net that they cast is too broad, because definitely games can have such varying experiences where you'll have a couple members in a team, and if you go and look at their profile, especially when there's duo or trio queues involved, the win percentage difference just looks absolutely absurd on both ends. But let's take a look at the team compositions and MMR below. So teams composition, what do they mean when they refer to the team's composition? 96.6% similar. Team's MMR, so 80% of the time it's within a 240 MMR difference, and then 20% of the time it's not, with 9% of the time it being up to 1,000 difference. Okay, looking at this data, we can see that over 96% of all matches have teams with similar composition. Okay, so they mean in terms of duo queue, So 5 versus 5, or 3 grouped and 2 solo versus 3 grouped and 2 solo. Right. And just because, I mean, fundamentally, this is another thing that people have a big complaint of. Because you can have 2 trio queues or 2-3 groups on either end of a particular game, if one side has the one that's, you know, the 61% win rate squad and the other is, you know, a negative win rate squad, you know, and then the 2 solos on the other teams are the ones that balance it out. So, you know, let's say team A has a high MMR trio queue, very low MMR duo queue, and over here it's a very low MMR trio queue and like a, you know, mid to high level duo queue. And numbers wise, it might balance out. But if these are not duo queues and they're 2 individual solo players, the 2 solo players can feel helpless and left with almost no agency if one team's trio queue is just much far behind compared to the other, because they have such a large influence over the game. So this alone, I think, is recognized as an issue. 5 versus 5, I mean, is it actually accurate that 5 stacks only play against non-5 stacks 3.5% of the time? One in, you know, over like 25, almost 30 games. I feel like I play against trio queues much more often than that, but maybe 5 stacks at the higher end of the ladder are outliers for this data set. I don't believe this 3.5% when it comes to 5 stacks. But anyway, let's continue. The percentage of matches with little or no difference in team skill exceeds 80%. However, we have been researching player experiences and sentiments on the subject, as not all players report having equal matchmaking experiences. Okay, so this, unless they're going to provide some kind of ramification, this just seems like they're saying 80% of the time your games are balanced, and you guys are saying that they're not, so this might be a you issue. Okay, to improve player experience, in July we implemented a change to the formula from master points are gained and lost. This formula now applies and removes fewer points as the player's rank increases. This change not only helps master points more accurately reflect player skill, but also improves matchmaking. I mean, this would imply that master points are a part of the matchmaking formula, but then earlier they mentioned that matchmaking is decided by factors like win percentage, consecutive wins, and current rank. Okay, so I guess that does make sense. But if it's based on master points, and master points aren't a zero sum, they're not handed in a zero sum way, as in the team that wins isn't taking that many points from the team that loses, it just seems like this favors players that play significantly more, which I think is a part of the issue. Maybe that part is being weighted too high, or maybe it shouldn't be weighted very high at all. I'm not sure. On December 1st, so very recently, we also implemented a change to ranked matchmaking logic that will keep the rank variation between players on a team within 2 ranks, excluding 5-player teams. In addition, okay, so hold on. This means that, you know, master players shouldn't be able to get people that are below veteran, I believe, within 2 ranks, which I think this should have been day 1, but okay, that's good. In addition, in ranked matches, players in duos and trios will need to be within 2 ranks of each other, ensuring, okay, I mean, again, these things should have been in the case since day 1. I didn't know that they weren't already. I haven't paid that close attention, and I don't duo and trio that often. Okay, positive changes. Next, we'll be making some changes to fair play points. Okay, this is another issue. This is around players being reported and not being accurately, or, you know, players griefing during a match going AFK, getting reported, but then their punishment not being apt, not being good enough. A change has already been implemented to deduct fair play points if a player stops playing during a match, and players' matching priority will be reduced the fewer total fair play points they have. We'll also be improving the accuracy of detecting passive play, such as using moves to avoid appearing inactive but not engaging in battle. So they're improving their AI to recognize when people go AFK. I think what they really need to do, and this is what people are asking, is people need to lose more fair play points. After, you know, fully griefing to, you know, 2 games in a row, 3 games in a row, you probably should be out of ranked for, you know, a good amount of time, where you have to either play against other people with low fair play points, break it out in the quick play matches, standard matches, be forced to win those games to recoup your fair play points. So you can't just keep trolling across the board. But it doesn't seem like people have been very well punished. Maybe this second part will help though. Lastly, we'll be making some changes to the rank range across which solo, duo, and trios can match. Okay, this is the exciting part, right? We'll be adjusting the range of rank resets at the end of a season in hopes of mitigating the difference in skill at the start of a new season. Wow. Both very, very, very positive changes to here. This is probably the most exciting part if they do it well. I think this is a problem that people have, that solo players feel like the rank diversity in an individual game is too high, which is why I felt this chart just felt weird to see, because if they're saying 81% of the time they're evenly matched, but they're also going to make some changes around of the rank range, then it would imply it's not evenly matched. But hey, if they can actually pull this off, this will help a lot. What we really need is an exclusive solo and duo experience, or at least a leaderboard that, you know, isn't mixing 5 stacks and solo players, so solo players can feel like they have a sense of accomplishment or sense of something to work towards. Because right now it is literally impossible to get rank 1 playing solo queue. Just, you know, it just is not possible with how the game is set up, which is kind of lame. People should be able to have those types of aspirations. Start of season rank reset fixes, this is good. Start of the season can feel really, really rough, so if they can do something to adjust for that, that would be nice. The Unite team is always looking for ways to improve the player experience, so please continue sharing your thoughts on the changes above as they're implemented. Pog. A new year. Finally, we'd like to introduce to Pokemon Unite's new producer, Yuki Gabe. I hope I'm saying their name right. Who will be taking over Masaki Hoshino, and is thrilled to work with all of you to help make Pokemon a fun experience. From all of us on the Pokemon Unite team, we'd like to thank you again for the passion and dedication to this community. Cool. Sincerely, the Unite team. This is cool. I'm interested to see. I think I did look them up earlier. They worked on Pokemon Quest in 2018. Coordinator and project manager, and then they were assistant producer on Pokemon Masters, which I believe is another game that existed on mobile, if I'm not mistaken. Pokemon Masters is iOS and Android. Okay, cool. So maybe a Pokemon producer that has experience in the mobile game field, might be positive changes. I've been thrilled with Unite. Obviously, over the last year, there's been a lot of hot topic things that, you know, players and the community alike have asked for. Not everything has hit the ground running right away, but look, this kind of communication should always be welcomed with open arms. So I'm really excited that this is happening. Hopefully, we can have more communication like this, more direct communication, the opportunity to ask them questions. If you've made it this far into the video, let me know. If you could ask the Pokemon Unite team one question, what would it be? I can probably think of a lot of them, but let me know your one. I'm going to be reading through all the comments. Thank you guys all for watching, and have a good rest of your day.